Yesterday I read an article that talked about how we are secretly glad when somebody cancels on us, when we have plans. Anybody see that article? Anybody resonate with that? Because what happens when somebody cancels on us and we have plans is suddenly we find we have a night free to do whatever we want. And we're happy about that. And it's so easy to cancel, right? Because you don't even have to have a conversation. You don't have to make any excuses. You just text somebody. Hey, I'm letting you off the hook tonight. Have fun. But what are we missing when we do that? What are we giving up when we do that? We're giving up connection. We're giving up community. We're giving up a little bit of our own integrity when we don't stand by our commitments. We don't want to do that because we need connection. We need people to see us. We need people to know us, to hear us. It's part of our human experience. We want that. And it's so easy to not, to just push that aside in this post-COVID world. Just be in our own little bubble. Friday, I had 3 events that were really significant for me in being seen and being heard. I had a session with my spiritual director that I do once a month, and always when I have a session with her, I feel so heard. She helps me get a broader perspective of things. She helps me know myself, not by telling me what she's seeing, but by asking questions that help me come out with what I'm saying, with what I'm seeing, with who I am. And then I have a new prayer partner. And we've only had a couple sessions, but we met on Friday, and it was, again, so uplifting. If you don't have a prayer partner, I highly recommend having somebody that you meet with on a regular basis and you just connect and pray for each other. Because when you pray with someone, as our prayer chaplains know, you are really being present with them. You are hearing them. You are seeing them as they are. When you pray with somebody, you are seeing the Christ in them. And it's a beautiful experience. And then Friday night, what I wanted to do was sit at home and watch TV because there was a season finale of Blood of My Blood, and that's what I just wanted to sit in front of the TV and watch the season finale. And we had an unexpected guest come over for dinner who was out of town. And he stayed till 10. So I didn't get to watch the show. But it was a wonderful, wonderful experience because this person who I don't know very well, he's more of a friend of Kevin's, really saw me. Like he saw me and reflected back to me somebody that I actually liked. He heard me and he was interested in my life. And what a gift to give someone to be that person for someone else. And I share that because we're working with these 5 questions. We're in our small group program, week 2. If you're just joining us, last week we started the program, and the question was, why am I here? And I hope that some of you were able to really take that in and go deeper with that question. Why am I here in this body, in this time, on this planet, in this sanctuary? Why am I here? And this week, the question is kind of weird. It's, what wants to know me? It's really awkwardly phrased, I think, and I really struggled with it. What wants to know me? What wants to know me? And I think back to Friday and all these 3 people, these 3 encounters that I had with different people that wanted to know me. But what wants to know me, to me, is what quality, what divine aspect of me, what part of me that's within me wants to come out, that wants to express as me. Because each one of us is uniquely made. All 8 billion of us on this planet, there's no one quite like you. And that God in us, that divine in us, that spirit in us wants to know us, wants to experience life as us. What wants to know me? What wants to come forth? It's still kind of an awkward question. Dr. James says this about this question. Everything you want to know or experience is there waiting to know and experience you. It's all energy and it's everywhere available. When you ask the question, what wants to know me, you're asking the universe or God or whoever, whatever you consider to be going on in this complex world of infinite possibilities to bring the answer forward and be known. We long to be known as who we are, to have somebody see beyond the surface stuff. This is who I am, as Ryan sung. This is who I am. We want that. We want somebody to see that in us. And so we have this opportunity to ask this question, to go a little deeper. And don't go with the first answer that you get. Dr. James says sometimes when he asks the question, the first answer is fear. Fear wants to know me. Maybe fear does want to know us, but there's more. And so you're invited to really sit with this question. There's a Sufi story that ties in really well with this idea. And there's a woman who goes to a wise teacher. And she says to the teacher, I really want to know God. And the wise teacher just smiles at her, picks up a wooden flute that's laying on the table and starts playing. And it's playing this beautiful music. It's beautiful and haunting and peaceful and chaotic and happy and sad and everything. And he puts the flute down and she says, well, that was beautiful, but I want to know God. That didn't answer my question. And he said, you know, this flute was a reed down by the river. And this reed was cut and hollowed out and holes were put into it. And it needed the breath of a musician to bring it to life. It needed someone else. It was alone until somebody played it. He said, you are that reed. We are all that reed. And we want to be known. We want to be heard. And until we are hollowed out, until we experience life and hollowed out with disappointment or pain or wounds or challenges or things that go not according to our plans, until we're hollowed out, there's no substance, there's no fullness, there's no life, because with those hollowed out things, then when we experience joy and happiness and peace, we really feel it fully, like it's the fullness of life. And so this, to not look at this reed, not look at this hollowed out person as we all feel we are sometimes with all these holes, but as something that God can work with. Something that spirit can work with. And it's interesting because we say that spirit shapes us, but also experiences life through us, as us. And without this breath of spirit, without that spirit moving through that, there's no music. There's no beauty. There's another story of a potter, of a woman named Lila who was learning the art of pottery. And she was working with this lump of clay on the potter's wheel. And nothing was working out for her, and she was trying so hard. And she said to her teacher, I just want to create something beautiful. And he said, stop working against the clay and let it be. Work with the clay. What you want, instead of what you want it to be, let it be what it needs to be. Like Michelangelo would say about the stone, there's a statue within. There's something within this already. Let it be its beautiful self through you. And so something shifted in her, and she slowed down and took a breath and started working with the clay. Instead of making it into something, she allowed it to become what it needed to become. And it became a beautiful bowl that was smooth and whole and gorgeous. And she held it up to the light and she said, I didn't make this. I allowed it to be what it needed to be. And that's how Spirit works with us to allow us to be who we came here to be and not make us be a certain way. Maybe what wants to know you is more of an allowing than a making. When we allow and let life flow through us, it flows a lot smoother. What wants to know you? What wants to know me? Maybe peace wants to know me in a world that I see as chaotic. Maybe faith wants to know me when I feel like I have to control a situation. Maybe love wants to know me when I'm judging or comparing. Maybe self-love wants to know me when I'm judging myself or comparing myself to other people and not measuring up in my own mind. This week I had one day that was pretty rough. I've been taking this spiritual boot camp. I'm week 5 of 16. And it's kicking my butt. Because we're really digging in and looking at things that are going on in consciousness, things that are going on with us. And I had one day this week that was really rough. And I was in tears, and I was just feeling really bad about myself. And I was also working with this question, what wants to know me? And I just asked the question, and clear as anything, I heard love. Love wants to know you. And yes, we've been here before. We've been here many times. Self-love seems to be a theme of mine. Maybe it's for you too, for some of you. But this felt more profound. It felt love wants to know you. Love wants to know you so deeply, so much that it just oozes out of you and pours out, and you share it with everybody, and then it comes all right back to you, embraces you, and lets you know that you are loved. You are loved, and you are enough. And no matter what you're thinking, whenever you get to that place where you feel like you're not enough or you're not good enough or you're comparing yourself to other people, and that never is a good thing, to come back to this, what wants to know me in that moment is love. Wants to know us, as us, and express as us. And when we look at the news and we see fear and we see disruption and we see division and hate, maybe unity wants to know us. Maybe it's the time to bring it all together. You know, we have an incredible teaching in unity. And this week, Jim Blake, who's the CEO of Unity World Headquarters, put out a video with a lot of statistics, and I'm not going to show the video, but we'll have it in the update this week. We are a growing movement. We are a movement with teachings that are making a difference. The biggest demographic of people that are going to Unity's website is 25 to 34-year-olds. Hungry for this teaching, hungry for knowing that there's a power within us that wants to be used and used for good. Dr. James says this: the world of new thought brings you to a new understanding of just how much power you have within. It inspires you to know yourself on a much deeper level, a much more affirmative level. It allows for each and every person to find that power within themselves and then use it. Use this power that we have within to know yourself, to know what your gifts are, to know what the world needs, to know what needs to come forth out of you, to be expressed by you, to be expressed as you, because the world needs what you have. Our world needs every one of us, to be our best selves. And what we have to do a lot of times is to surrender that small self that thinks, but we know better. Just get it out of the way. Because there is a part of you that is longing to come forth, that is longing to be all you came here to be, to remember who you are. There's a quote in this chapter as well that says, "Give me your heart. Give me your questions. Give me your pain. Give me your joy. Give me your story. Give me your truth. I will hold it all. Give it all up to me, and I will hold it for you." Whatever we are going through, we can surrender it to a part of ourselves. We're not giving it away to somebody outside of us. We're giving it to that part of us that loves us so much, that trusts us so much, that knows us so well, that it can hold it all. Can be our best selves. My granddaughter, Zoe, is going to turn 1 on Thursday. And this last year, she has been the absolute joy of my life. I look forward to seeing her. I see her about once a week. It's my best self comes out with her. What wants to know me and that time that I'm with her is this Nana in me, this unconditional love that I get to give this little girl. It's such a privilege. I've got patience that I don't usually see myself as all that patient, but with her, I am patient. My best self comes out. We can be that for each other. You know, if you've got one person, so you've got one person you can be your best self with, that means you can be your best self. It's possible with everybody. What's stopping us? Looking at the world and saying, well, they're not doing it. It's got to start somewhere. It starts here. It starts with all of us, because we have the capacity, we have the awareness that we have the capacity, which a lot of folks unfortunately don't, I think. So we have an opportunity to be our best selves, to ask that question, what wants to know me? You know, in the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah is told by God to go to this potter, again with the potter, and observe. And he goes and he sees this potter working the clay on this potter's wheel, and he says, you know, we are the clay and God is the hands. And in unity, we would say that we are both. Because the divine that is within us, the divine, the clay, that inside part of us that's being molded by Spirit is also being experiencing life through us. So what a unique teaching we have in this world. That we're not looking to God outside of us, some spirit out there to take care of us. We do it ourselves. We take responsibility for ourselves, accountability for ourselves. And know we have everything we need within. It's all inside. It's all in us. You've got it. And the world needs you. So ask that question. What wants to know me? And if the answer is going to change depending on where you are and what circumstance you're going through. But what that answer is telling you is what is longing to come forth. Let it. Allow it. It'll make a world of difference to all the people you're around. Listen to that voice. Listen to that voice within that knows, because it knows. So I invite you this week to work with this question. What wants to know me? And let that, whatever little nudge you get, go with it. Try it. Okay. Namaste.